Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Colby and Chip and Ghosty.
Marilyn Manson. I don't like
the drugs.
I don't like the drugs.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like the drugs. Marilyn Manson.
Why do I don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me? Is that in this? That line is like stuck in my head. Oh, you're not sure. Have you ever heard this song?
No.
Oh, okay. So this
was not on the Antichrist Superstar album, I'm pretty sure.
This one is a shout out to the big homie Ben.
Oh yeah, this is for Ben Moen. What's up, Ben?
Yes, they got a house.
They got a house.
Yep.
Shout out to the big homie.
So hope that's going good.
Yeah. So this is for Ben Moen and his crew. Shout out to them on their house stuff. Also, again, we have Where in the World is the Village? And here we are.
Oh, yes.
Hold on, guys.
It was cool because this guy got, well, I mean, you're seeing it right now. He got the blue version of the Secret Sori shirt.
Sori Secret shirt, not the Secret Sori shirt.
I always mix it up.
It's your thing.
I know.
You always screw it up.
If you're interested in getting one of these shirts,
his name
check out the link below in the description.
Patton.
Oh, that's right. I did see that.
I'm pretty sure it's also his profile pic. Is it? No. It's not his profile pic.
Well, I don't know. It could be behind that cup.
Well, that's not a blue shirt. Anyway, he's with Tool. He's with Danny Carey from Tool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, this is Ross Patton. He's in a church, actually.
Yeah.
How real is that? He's in church, and
I'm making it all over the world.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I want to actually. Where was he in this? Here's one in St. Peter's Church in Munich, Germany. This church was also thought to be the originating point of the whole city.
Wow.
Wow. So anyway, shout out to the big homie.
Yeah.
I just think that's amazing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We've got such a diverse. We just literally have the best community of all time. I just really feel like that.
Yeah,
we've got a lot of diversity.
I was gonna say it's so diverse because I legit don't know. It's not like I can be like, okay, this certain type of person is going to be listening to our channel, because sometimes there's kids listening to us. Then sometimes it'll be like this, like random person in Walmart that will be like, hey, and then I realize it's from the channel, and they don't even look like a metalhead.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Right. Because you look like a metalhead. Only when you have your black lipstick.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I don't know what happens. People just go crazy when they see you with black lipstick. It's very interesting.
Really?
Oh,
I love the black lipstick.
Look at the comment.
Fun.
Look at the comment section on the ones when you have black music. It's like
black lipstick.
It's very.
It's fun.
Very
I love
interesting. Okay, I don't like the drugs. Marilyn Manson. For timely, topical, political commentary, you can hit us up in the middle of America with Vin and Sori, and let's do it.
All right, go.
Backstreet. I come all the way from Los Angeles, California. And I'm very sure that we are capable of spelling certain words. But let me make sure that Sydney, Australia is capable of spelling the same words. Can I hear a D? Can I hear an R? Can I hear a U? Can I hear a G? And can I hear a motherfucking S? And what does that spell? Oh my God, you are so fucking beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you know that there is a war on drugs.
Chanting drugs. Yeah.
Let me tell ya, if Jesus Christ can do drugs, then why the fuck can't we? I don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me.
I knew that line.
The drugs, the drugs, the drugs. The drugs, the drugs, the drugs. I don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me. Don't like the drugs, the drugs, the drugs. Oh my baby, God is waiting and forgiving, and with this just an end of praying. Don't touch the sample of salt. To look just like a human being. We're rehab and we're ready for a 15 minutes of shame. We're pouring just like Christians are suicide. You're not on the toast. The drugs, the drugs, the drugs. All in a soul, we're filled with dough, and we're feeling fine. There's a hole in our soul that we're filled with dough. And we're feeling fine. There's a hole in our soul filled with dough. And we're feeling fine. Don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me. Drugs like me. I don't like the drugs.
saying drugs?
I don't know.
Interesting. This is definitely a Christian's rock too.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think that you and I are going to have a totally different reaction to this one.
Okay, what's your reaction to it?
I love this song. I love this song. There was something inside me that loved it. I mean, I wouldn't reach out for his hand or take that microphone after the beginning of the song.
Well, I mean, it's not anything you'd see different from Walmart.
Oh, I know.
I should have turned that camera right there.
We could have blurred out his face.
We should have recorded that.
Oh.
So we're hanging out in the Walmart parking lot. This dude,
You were finishing talking to somebody and we had to go in.
I gotta say, I feel like, did you get a French vibe from this
Yep,
brother?
I did. Yep.
They were European. Shout out to all of our Europeans. And with broad daylight, the guy puts his hand straight into his junk. Made a couple adjustments, and then took his girl's hand and off they walked into...
I said, that's why I use the sanitizer on the handles at the grocery store.
Wallahi.
Gross.
Wallahi. That was pretty fucking disgusting,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
It was nasty. And I think he like turned so she didn't see him do it, but he was like facing us in our car full of children. I was like, my God, you know that scene on the scene on oh my word, what's that, Napoleon Dynamite? When the guy goes to shoot the cow and the bus goes by, and all the kids are like, ah!
No, the only thing I remember from Napoleon Dynamite was when he had like this unbreak. And it wouldn't break, so he just got in his car and drove away.
No, it wouldn't break, and then he put it behind the wheel of the car, and he backed up on it, and it broke, so then he just took off because he knew he wasn't going to sell it. That part, and the part when Napoleon's riding up on his bike, and he looks all nerdy, and his uncle takes a stake and just hits him right in the head with it, and he just like, the way it whacks him, oh my word, I repeated that part so many times.
Okay, I don't have a problem with this song. Like, I don't have like I don't hate it to the degree that you like it.
Yeah, I could like sing, and I'm not a drug, like I don't do drugs, but like I think that what I like about it is that it doesn't matter if it's drugs or if it's something else. It's something that you feel like that you like need. And he's saying he kind of wants to put it on the thing. It's not that I like the drugs like me.
Well, I'm not sure that it's a mix-all. I mean, look, I didn't understand that if Jesus can do drugs, why can't we? I don't know what he means by that.
I don't know which Jesus he was talking about.
Although I did, somebody called.
Maybe because he would drink?
No, somebody called a Bible show one time, and the guy was. Now I'm looking back at it, he was high when he called, but. You know in Hebrews 1 where it says, therefore God your God has anointed you with the oil of joy above your companions, or the oil of gladness. He was like, that was a concoction, man, of cannabis, man. It was like, the oil of gladness. It was cannabis, man. It was THC, man.
Oh my gosh.
And Hank Hanegraaff was like, get the fuck out of here. You are right now. That's the only thing I remember. But anyway, no, I think he's talking specifically about drugs here and its relationship to America and the right wing and Christianity and da-da-da-da.
Yep.
Because, now it's so weird. Like, our kids are not in the war on drugs generation, so they don't have all this mythology around drugs that we had.
Yep.
I mean, it was like, you're gonna die.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna lose your mind. You're crazy.
Yes.
People who do, like I told the story of the kid, he got caught with some weed in his backpack, and then the teacher was like, his life is over. I was like, shit. This is a white kid, too. A white kid's life is over with some drugs. I need to stay away from this shit. So, like, it was just crazy. And, of course, you say you don't do drugs, but that's not true. because most Americans are drugged up, in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's on some drug in America.
Oh, well, I was thinking about, like, something...
Right, the drugs that the Americans, that the government tells us are bad drugs, and then there's some drugs, if the big pharma can make quadrillions of dollars off of it, those are good drugs, but then if Rodney down the street is making, $200 a night, those are bad drugs, and that guy needs to go to jail forever. So, like, I'm kind of like, yeah, especially, I'm very, very sour to the pharmaceutical drug industry, whatever you want to call it, considering what happened, with my mom, where she, OD'd and I remember I was calling the guy because they were trying to say it was like old age or whatever. I'm like, she was like 57 years old, bro. Like, the hell are you talking about? And I was not accepting that as the cause of death, because I was like, there's no way. And then, of course, when I finally talked to the coroner, the examiner, there was so much barbiturates and other things in her system that they didn't even have space in the death certificate to whatever. So then I call the other guy back, and I'm like, did you even see my mother? Did you even treat her, or did you just, He's like, I'm talking, and then I'll have my assistant call you. That was 3 years ago. He never called me. So it's like, I understood why he wanted to have that as the opinion, because it looked bad on him. But, it's really just the entire system as a whole, that did it. And obviously, I believe in personal responsibility, so my mom knew what she was doing. She had a medical background, so she knew exactly what she was doing. So, I can't put the whole thing on her, but it's just enigmatic of the system. It's like, she had insurance. She had really, really good insurance, so he was getting paid. Yep. So every time she said something, well, sure. And, I get it, because having a mom that has a background in that stuff, she knew what to say to people. So I understand, I always go back and forth with this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
but you still want, whoever it is that's treating her to not give her that much, or to look into the problems a bit more.
Yeah, or even to see, because he never answered to this day, he's never answered that question.
Sure, yeah.
And so, it's one of those things where it's like,
Yeah.
So anyway, it's like, now we're at a place where, it's like the Dave Chappelle skit where he was talking about how now that the opioid crisis is hitting mainly white, people, now it's, this is not criminal behavior, this is an illness. Whereas during the crack epidemic, it was, which was a majority blow. You're going to jail for a very long,
Right.
So, but at the same time, I'm glad now that we've, hey, okay, now it's affecting those people. So now all of a sudden it's a mental health. It's a mental health issue, and we're not demonizing these people. And and Dave Chappelle was like, "Well, I want to say to you what y'all said to us in the '80s. I don't care." And he's like, "Why can't you just stop doing drugs? It's that simple." Now, obviously, I'm not going to say that, and obviously, it's different for us because we've lost people to the opioid crisis. Right. So, black, white, or otherwise, it doesn't matter. Once you know somebody that you've lost to that crisis, then yeah. But at the same time, not all drugs are created equal. So it's like, you kind of like have to piece together, from my perspective as a Christian, the American relationship to drugs. And John Piper said something really interesting about caffeine, because caffeine is a drug. That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you mean you don't do drugs? Like, I'm not talking about you, I'm just talking about the general you. Is like, caffeine is absolutely a drug. And he was saying, well, what's the difference between caffeine and, marijuana, blah, blah, blah. Piper was saying that caffeine functions to keep you more conscious. It's designed to elevate your conscious and make you more aware and more in tune to engage reality. That's the point of caffeine. Well, that's the point of caffeine.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You do it so that you can be a productive worker, and that you can. So he's like, if you're taking, so that is actually a good use of the drug. And then of course, when you have other drugs that are designed to completely take you away from reality. And so that's how you make the distinction between the two. But you know, it's a very complex set of ideas when you think about Americans and our relationship to drugs, and you know, the risks and the benefits and all that jazz. But
I want to get into some of these lyrics that
Yeah.
I didn't understand.
okay, go for it.
Down. Well, I guess it was verse 2.
Okay.
No. Well, we can go verse by verse if you want, and then when we get to it, but it's right there.
Which
We
one?
rehabbed and we're ready for our 15 minutes of shame.
Yeah.
We're talk shown and
And
we're
we're
pointing just like Christians at a suicide.
Yeah. So we're rehabbed and we're ready. So it says norm life, baby.
Yeah, this
So-
is like the regular life for them.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
well, it starts off with norm life, baby. We're white and oh so hetero, and our sex is missionary. Just like it's just you're just
I see.
you're
Yes.
just this normal, you know,
Yes. Okay.
you know, family values, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Our God is white and unforgiving, which
Yeah.
is a double, right? Because drugs, cocaine,
Yes.
their God is white
Yep.
and unforgiving, but also the evangelicals, their God is white and unforgiving, you know, that type of thing.
Okay. I didn't get that out of that, but yeah, I didn't understand why he was saying that because he doesn't look like just a missionary person. So I'm like,
Right, it's norm life. This is
I
norm,
see, yeah.
normies, normal people.
Yeah.
We're rehabbed and we're ready for our 15 minutes of shame because, you know, it's supposed to be 15 minutes of fame,
yeah.
but we're rehabbed. So these are people that got out of the drug life, and now they're going basically on TV to give a testimony. I used to be on drugs, but now it's like, oh, I was ashamed of it. So I think he's speaking against shaming people for being, you know, not necessarily drug addicts, although you could say addicts, but also people who recreationally do drugs. And you know, you didn't have Joe Rogan and all these people talking about DMT and Tool in the 90s. Like I said, I wasn't Tool conscious in the 90s or whatever, but I don't remember anybody like propping up DMT, not the way that Joe Rogan does.
Yeah.
Like, so now it's like, wait a second, this drug does this and da-da-da-da. Now we've all, you know, kind of aimed the sights on the pharmaceutical companies, and everybody's like, fuck those guys. We're not gonna. So, you know, so there's not a lot of shaming of it now, but people were shamed pretty hardcore for using anything that the pharmaceutical companies weren't saying. You know, like, you know, the stoners and the weed head, the potheads and the blah 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 blah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, of course, in black culture, it wasn't like that. You know, so you had black rappers talking about drugs and smoking weed and all that. So in our culture, it wasn't like that. But you know, in overall evangelical TV culture, it was like that. It was like, oh, you're ashamed. So to me, I think that it's like we're rehabbed and we're ready. It's like the people that escaped the drug culture,
Yeah,
and I think to some degree it's offensive to some people. I think everybody would. I think Manson himself would say the opioid crisis, where people are dying over that shit. Yeah, that's not the same thing as somebody smoking a joint or even taking a hit of cocaine. It's not the same. You know, so that's why I think is going on there.
I agree. I didn't see that when I was listening to it.
And he says, you and I are underdosed, and we're ready to fall. We're raised to be stupid, taught to be nothing at all. We're taught to be nothing at all. So it's like, you know, you're raised in this sort of nihilistic environment, and then you're telling these people not to do drugs. He's like, what are you talking about? Like, if the world is as you say it is, and it's as empty as you say it is, then we're all underdosed. Because we should all be on drugs. And I say it all the time. If the nihilists are right,
We're in trouble.
then shoot up, do whatever you need to do.
They're not right though. So
They're not right. But if they were, like this line right here, you and I are underdosed, we're ready to fall. Like, it makes complete and perfect sense.
Yep.
So that's, there's a hole in our soul that we fill with dope and we're feeling fine. You know, and usually that's a Christian line where you say there's a hole in your soul and that's why you need God, and you know, you should be a Christian because he's going to fill that hole in your soul. Which is interesting because when you hear Head talk, that's what he talks about. He had this giant gap and he filled it with meth and all this other stuff.
Head from porn, I'm sure.
But then when he met Jesus in the closet that day, you know, then he had a sort of a high and a feeling that can't, you know, be replicated. And you know, I've had those experiences with God, and unless it's very, I appreciate him talking about it, because anytime you've had one of those experiences, you immediately want to talk about it, but at the same time, once you start talking about it, you realize that the words that you have are not communicating what you actually experienced.
Yeah.
So it's hard. So most of the time, I've just stayed quiet about a lot of the experiences I've had with God, because it's hard to articulate. But there is definitely a correlation between spirituality and drug use. And that's the reason that the New Testament word for sorcery is pharmakia. And that's because, you know, the priestesses and the oracles, etc., used to get themselves into this, you know, altered state of consciousness via the drugs, and then that function as a gateway. You know, so anyway,
so when he was saying I don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me, what do you think he meant by that?
Well, I think it's kind of pushing off the responsibility. You know, he's speaking from a position of the addict. It's like, I'm trying to get away from it, but it keeps coming after me. But I don't think that you can be in American culture and not be on some drug. That's the other. I think that's the ultimate commentary here. The ultimate commentary is you can't be an American. There's very few people that I've run into that are not consistently taking some type of drug.
Yeah.
Especially if you include nicotine and caffeine as an actual drug.
Yeah. And sugar. They say sugar.
And sugar. Yeah. Yeah. So it's impossible. I think the ultimate point is it's impossible to be an American and not be on a drug. And then the next question is, well, if that's the case, then why are some segments of the population being shamed for using drugs?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know, and then who determines that? You know, and of course we all know now in 2019, it's the freaking pharmaceutical companies that you know are in line with the prison industrial complex. And we met that guy, and he was explaining the whole thing. And if you know, he was dropping. Former addict, he was dropping a lot of knowledge, so much so that I'm not even going to repeat some of the stuff that he said, because it was just bonkers. It was crazy. Yeah. But I believe him 100%. But it was pretty insane. Yeah. So anyway, there you are. What do you give the song?
It was like a 9.8 for me, maybe even a 9.9. I loved that girl's voice.
Yeah,
I loved the way that they sang together.
She was like an R&B kind of singer on a shock rock tour, which must have been a very.
She kept changing it, and I loved it. Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, that must have been that must be a really interesting set of stories. You know, like I did a gig. You know, I had a 3-month stretch with Marilyn Manson. Like that's a story for the ages. Yeah. Good Lord. Because she didn't look like a freak like Marilyn Manson. Yeah. She looked like an R&B singer. Like, that's pretty crazy. That like, talk about being a fish out of water.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so it's just pretty crazy. Yeah, pretty interesting.
So what is it to you?
9.5, 9.5.
Oh wow! 9. I did not expect you to rate it that high.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really like the song in the sense of like, oh wow, this is going on my shower playlist or my running playlist. But
see, I would go for a drive-in playlist.
I believe you. You know, stuff with my mom and just the whole concept and the commentary on it, I think was very, very important. So from that perspective, I really appreciate it. So, there you are! Shout out to Ben Moen.
Oh yes, shout out to the big homie.
Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me. I don't like the drugs, the drugs, the drugs.